Happy New Year, everyone! Welcome back to the channel. This is a brand new Sacred Union reading for a brand new year. Hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful holiday. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to talk a little bit and channel some information, let you guys know what I experienced yesterday going into this new year. So a couple of weeks ago, we began channeling that December was a very pivotal month in that there was a lot of astrological and cosmic events that were happening, a lot of portals that were opening in order to shift us into a higher level of consciousness for 2020, the brand new decade, and into this brand new earth. And new earth is just a higher level of consciousness. And so what we have been channeling, and I'm going to feel the urge to sage as I channel this, so bear with me. What we were channeling was that there was the full moon, there was the new moon, there was a solstice, there was a 12/12 to 12/21 corridor portal, and there was the eclipse. And we're starting the eclipse season, so there's going to be more cosmic events happening going into the next few months, starting in January, I believe. So then what we had channeled with that was that there was the doorway of 2020, going into 2020. It was that we had one foot in what seemed like the past and one foot into the future. And they were asking us to really be present. We had channeled that on Instagram and Facebook yesterday. They were asking us to really be present because the stroke of midnight was going to be a shift into new earth, into this higher level of consciousness, into 5D and above consciousness. Now, it's not, time is an illusion. The clock, linear time is an illusion. And the clock itself doesn't matter. It was a metaphor. It was a symbol for the stroke of midnight, for this energy shift that we're experiencing. And that's what we are experiencing with the new vibration of 2020. The year 2020, leaving the old number of 2019 in the past, shifting into this new vibration of a new year and a new decade. What they had told me was that the past decade was really about awakening. It was about really clearing and purging any of that old, dense energy that was holding us back into that 3D matrix, that 3D timeline. This is also past lifetimes that were, and we have been channeling this, God, for a year. Past lifetimes were converging in on this time and space now. There's no coincidence that you are human incarnate here and now. That you come to this place in your soul's evolution, that you chose to be here and now on this plane of existence, in this earth, in that body, in that identity that you chose right here, right now. That is not a coincidence that you are here. That was your soul's calling to volunteer to help raise the vibration of the planet, because you are light workers. You are way showers. You are star seeds, change makers. Whatever it is that you want to call it, earth angels, whatever it is that you want to call it, you are that high vibrational soul, that high vibrational being that chose to incarnate here to clear past timelines, to clear past wounding, to clear ancestral wounding, to clear conditioning and social structures in this time and place from eons ago, from centuries ago. And all those past timelines, all those past lifetimes have been converging. You're calling back all those fractured pieces of yourself, all those fractured, they're giving me the word fractal. That's why I'm messing up my words. Fractal timelines. And so what's happening is 2010 until 2019 was a real shakeup for a lot of people. That's when their awakening occurred. That's when they were launched. You've had multiple awakenings, deeper awakenings. It's that spiral energy. You just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper within yourself, into your very own soul. And as you go deeper and deeper into your soul, you go deeper and deeper into the interconnectedness of all things. And that's what we were doing the past decade, but especially the past few years, when many of us were launched on the ascension path of the journey, and many of us still were launched on the divine counterpart path of ascension of the journey, of the soul's journey, of the soul's growth journey. There are all these different segments for evolution. The ones that I channel for are for divine counterparts going through ascension, because there you have a partner, or you have, well, I usually channel for partners, but take it as it resonates for you. And so the past few years, the past decade, but the past few years was all about clearing out all that dense energy, the karma, the lifetimes, the trauma, the conditioning, the patterns, the behaviors, the habits, the beliefs, the addictions, any toxicity that was just holding you back from the truth of who you are. And the truth of who you are is that you are soul. You are incarnated here as human. That is a beautiful, beautiful experience. That was a choice that you made for your evolution, for your soul's growth as well. You chose that identity. You chose your family. You chose that social structure. You chose your religion. You chose your upbringing. You chose all of that, orchestrated all of that for your soul's growth. But now you've reached this point, we're launched on ascension, where you realize that you're much more than that. That's what awakening is. That's what ascension is. It's remembering and healing the identity parts of you that thought that you were something else. You are more than that. Yes, you are human. That's a beautiful experience that you're here to have. The joy of being human. But now you're bridging human and spirit, human and soul. Now you're understanding that you can be soul in a human body, in a physical form. And as soul, you have the power to manifest and create the life that you want, a life of abundance, a life of love, a life of peace and harmony and bliss. And the more people who understand this and awaken to this, as your vibrations raise, you're raising everybody else's vibrations as well. And the more people who awaken to this, that's what creates this new earth. New earth is that shift in consciousness of, I am soul. I am love. I am light. I am part of everything around me. I am part of this earth. I am part of my brothers and sisters. I am part of source energy itself. I am part of the universe. I am the universe in this human body, in this human form. I'm not restricted by the physical 3D structures. I am not restricted by the human form anymore. This body is a vessel to house the soul. But I am so much more than the body. I am so much more than my physical reality. But because I'm remembering and waking up to the fact that I am soul, I am understanding that I can create in my physical reality the life that I want to see, the life that I dream about, the life that I imagine. That's bridging. It's two things. It's bridging the higher self with the soul, with the heart. It's bridging the mind, the egoic mind, because we still have an ego. We still have an ego. We were just meant to quiet the ego so that the soul rises, so that the soul speaks louder, so that the intuition speaks louder. The soul is where fear and doubt and uncertainty arises. The ego is where you overthink. But we're bridging the ego and the intuition. And we are bridging soul and human. What it is to be soul in a human body. Because otherwise you wouldn't be here. Otherwise you would be just spirit. You would be just energy. But you are human. And that's what it means to ground yourself in this physical reality. It means to balance out that human side of you with the spirit that you are within, to recognize your divinity, to recognize your power, and manifest that into your physical world. That's what we're doing. That's what we have been doing. Clearing out anything that has been holding us back. Anything that has been keeping us in that dense energy where we don't remember, where we're not balanced, where we're not understanding the power of both. That we're not meant to suffer in human form in this lifetime, not anymore. That was what we had learned. That was what we used to evolve. And so when I was saying that we chose our family, we chose our career, we chose our friends, we chose our, our purpose, all that stuff. We even chose what our bodies would look like. We chose it all. We orchestrated all of this. That is our power as soul. Because we chose it for our evolution. We chose it for our soul growth. What karma did I need to close out from past lifetimes, or what did my soul want to learn in this lifetime to help me evolve the best? But now, that was all the past 10 years from your birth until this point in time. Especially the past 10 years is when you began awakening to this, understanding this, experiencing this awakening and this ascension. But now, that is in the past. Now what you're doing is you are moving forward as an awakened soul, as an ascended being, knowing that the ego is just fear, that the truth is in your heart, that the truth is love. The truth is within your own intuition. Knowing that you are human, yes, and what a beautiful experience that is. But that as soul, as master manifestors, as co-creators with the universe, because you are not separate from the universe. You are the universe. You are source energy. You are God. You are part of each other. That you have the power to create your heaven on earth, your heaven on earth. And as you understand that and awaken to that and ascend to that, that's when your physical world manifests according to that. But everything that was toxic, everything that doesn't serve that understanding has to fall away. And so what they have been channeling to me the past few weeks was that this decade, 2020, is launching us into a new decade. But it's not just that, it's launching us into a new life. It's not launching us into a new world. That's what's so pivotal about this time and space right now, where we are right now. It's pivotal, not just in the evolution of the planet, raising the vibrations of our planet, but in the evolution of the entire universe. Because as your soul evolves, so does the universe expand. Because the universe evolves along with you. Because remember, you are one with the universe. There is no separation there. Separation is the illusion. That's where you lose your power. That's where you forget yourself. You are one with the universe. And so as you're expanding and your soul is going through growth, so is the universe itself experiencing and expanding. And as you're raising your vibrations, so is the planet raising its vibrations and healing, they're saying. And as that happens, again, the universe continues to expand. I'm not even talking about counterparts yet. We've talked about that a lot on the channel. I'm just talking in general right now about the soul's growth and the soul's evolution. And so 2020 has been pivotal because we are shifting into that higher level of consciousness as we have cleared out all that toxic energy and the karma and the dense soul sludge, as I like to call it. We're moving into this, what it really is new earth. It's a new way of being. It's a new way of living. It's a living from a place of understanding your divinity, understanding your power. This is not the corrupt power that we have known of the past paradigm. This is power of the divine. This is the power of love. This is the power of source energy, benevolence, a magnanimous energy of love, pure unconditional love. And that also contains a vibration of satisfaction, fulfillment, joy, happiness. All those things are what we are meant for as soul. It was just the ego that made us think that we had to suffer. It was just the ego that kept us trapped. And ego was a form of protection because ego doesn't want us to suffer. Ego doesn't want us to be trapped. Ego doesn't want us to be afraid. But by focusing on those things, ego perpetuates the cycle of those things. There were certain things that we had to experience to evolve. And for a lot of us, it created trauma response. It created karma. It created toxicity in our lives. But that's what's been crumbling away because ego has been quieting, because we've been saying to ego, You don't need to fear change anymore. You don't need to protect me anymore. I am always safe. I will always be okay no matter what it looks like in the physical 3D world, because the physical 3D world is the illusion. It is the illusion. Anything that you are manifesting outside of yourself in your physical reality is because there is something that you hold, a vibration that you hold within you. That is as without, so within. And so if you hold a vibration of love within, that will reflect in your outside world. If you hold a vibration of abundance, that will reflect in your outside world. Ego is quieting and soul is ascending and saying, I've got this now. I know the way. Soul knows the way. It's just ego that keeps us trapped in the illusion, trying to protect us. And it does it in very clever ways. The ego is very clever. It self-sabotages. It keeps us trapped in patterns and cycles by believing that we're trapped, by not letting us believe in our own power, by holding on so tightly. And so the past decade was all about letting go of that. The new decade is all about moving forward into ascension and rising into those higher vibrations, rising into our soul self, rising into our divinity. And the more we do that, the more we're going to see our outside world change to reflect that. That is that new earth that we have all been talking about and so excited for. That is that happily ever after. That is that true love. That is that fairy tale. That is real. It's no coincidence what comes into our collective consciousness. Fairy tales, we've talked about this on the channel as well. I'll see if I can find a link to it. But fairy tales are brought down from the higher realms to show you what is possible. We might have gotten it a little bit misconstrued over the years of the prince saving the princess. But they're getting it right now with the princess saving herself. Because that is how powerful you are. Male or female, doesn't matter. Feminine or masculine energy, it doesn't matter. It's all about getting out of that victim mentality of, woe is me, I can't do this, my life is falling apart. And taking back your power and saying, no, I have the ability to manifest what it is that I want. I have the ability to create what it is that I want, the life that I have for what I want. And nobody is holding me back but me. And if there is any sense that somebody else or some other situation or thing or place is holding you back, or a societal construct is holding you back, it's only because you're feeding into that illusion. There is nothing outside of yourself that isn't already within yourself. They talked about the doorway. They're talking about that again now. They talked about the doorway. The stroke of midnight. Things were going to shift. Things were going to change. And again, it's not that linear time. It's not the clock itself. It was a metaphor. It was that we had one foot on 12/31, December 31st. We had one foot into January 1st. And there was that time in between where it felt like we were between two worlds. The energy is kind of ongoing right now. It's kind of going forward. Residual energy, kind of. But there's a shift that's taking place. And what they actually said was that the doorway itself, you're gonna be feeling that energy throughout the next few weeks. You're gonna be feeling the shift gradually throughout the next few weeks. But what they had actually channeled was that doorway was firmly leaving the past in the past. And I'll tell you guys, I felt that yesterday. Last night, I had the intention of having a great New Year's. It's been a tradition for me to make it like a me day. All my favorite things. I get sushi, I get, a beverage, I get my favorite movies to watch, my cozy pajamas, my pups. I had Christmas lights on. It was very cozy. It was very warm. I've actually spent the past few days purging. Just purging and grieving and crying. There has been some stuff that has happened in my physical world, especially with my connection, that triggered that. Underneath it, I know I'll be okay. That is how far I have ascended. That is how the ego has quieted in myself. There's no fear there. Or any fear that I do feel, any anger that I do feel, it's easily transmuted knowing that I'll be okay. But you have to feel it to get through it. You can't suppress it anymore. The universe, your soul itself, will not allow it. You have to allow yourself to feel it, but channel it into healthy ways. And so yesterday wasn't the best day, I'll be honest, because I was purging so much. I actually fell asleep. It must have been like around 11:30, and I woke up at 12:12. And I'm like, well, crap, I missed the new year. I wasn't upset. It was no big deal. But it was very interesting because all of a sudden I felt and I saw in my third eye a very bright light. And I asked my guys, I said, what the hell was that? And they said, that was healing. That was healing. And so we're going to be healing the past. I woke up again today feeling a little bit heavy, feeling a little bit like I'm not sure. I don't have any resolutions. I don't know what my goals are this year. I don't really have any, to be honest, except to just be the best version of myself I can be, to continue being true to myself, to create the life that I wish to create. I did wake up feeling a little bit of that heavy energy, but that was within me. Everything around me felt a little bit lighter. The energy around me felt lighter. Like the collective energy felt a little bit lighter. But I was still grieving. I was still purging. I was still, going through the emotions of everything that had happened recently. And so this was healing. This is healing so that we don't carry it into the new year. And that's what I understood. That's what I understood was that I woke up with a sense of, it was almost like Queen of Swords energy. I am no longer tolerating victim mentality from anybody. I am no longer taking responsibility for anybody else but myself. Caring for others, yes. Uplifting others, of course. That is who I am. Loving others is who I am. But there comes a point where you can't help others, they have to help themselves. And if you guys have gotten readings from me, if you guys, listen to me on the channel here, you know that I always, as a guide, I feel like my job is to support you, but not heal you. Because you help to heal yourself. And I support you in that. I help you in that. I guide you through that. But my job as a healer is to help you uncover your own healing abilities, to uncover your own triggers so that you can look within and see what needs to be healed. Nobody can do it for you but yourself. That is the strength and the beauty of you, that you have that power. And I want you to feel empowered to be able to do that, because that is what's beautiful. That's what gives you that strength. That's what gives you that power. That's what makes you understand your divinity. That you have that power to heal yourself. You can do what I'm doing. You all have that intuition. You all have that connection to source. And all it means is tapping into that power, tapping into that energy. And all I do here is tap into that energy for you. That's my role. It's just as a guide. I will not give you answers. I will not give you the answers that you want to hear. I'll give you the answers that source brings you. If you guys get readings from me, it's not always what you want to hear, but it's the messages that source wants to bring through. And I will give you the messages as gently as possible. But sometimes it is some tough love. But that's because they're asking you to tap into your own intuition as well, into your own. And it might look a little bit different for everybody. It might not look the same way. You might not have the same, I want to say, strengths or gifts. Like you may not be claircognizant. You may not be clairvoyant. You may have other strengths, but that's what makes it beautiful. Your uniqueness in that. That's what makes all of this so beautiful. How connected we are to each other and to source, and how special and unique we are as well. Why did I get off on that tangent? I don't remember. Why are they telling me that? So 2020. So the energy, I don't feel any different, to be honest. I got that burst of healing energy from my angels, but I'm still dealing with the fallout. Oh, that's what they wanted to tell me. So life might look like it's been crumbling down a bit, and that's because it has been. Especially the past decade, there was a real crumbling of the foundation, but that was just everything that served you up until this point, but that you can't carry with you into the new earth if you choose to go into new earth. You can stay and repeat the same karma if you choose. But you have to yourself set the intention. Set the intention to heal. Set the intention to commit to your soul growth. Set the intention to be better. Set the intention to ascend. And you do that by saying, I am going to look deep within myself. I'm going to willingly go down that spiral. And you know what? You're not doing it alone. You're not doing it alone, because the universe will provide the support that you need, and not just your spirit team, who is always, always with you, but they will bring in your soul tribe to help you through this. Just don't deny them. Just don't deny them. There will be opportunities for soul growth. There will be opportunities for evolution. But it is up to you to recognize it as a lesson, to recognize it as an experience for evolution. Not something that's happening to you, but something that is happening for you. And I'm getting, when my ears get clogged, that's how I know that this is important and that they're here with me. This is you surrendering to your evolution. This is you surrendering to your ascension. This is your ego surrendering to soul itself. You're surrendering your fear. You're surrendering to love. And you're saying, okay, I recognize love now. I recognize love, and I recognize that I was building my life on a foundation that wasn't built on unconditional love. Love for others, love for yourself, love for and with source energy. Everything that you experienced up until this point, if you go back, you can connect the dots. If you really reflect and look at things from the higher perspective, there are dots along your timeline that you can connect and say, okay, I needed to go through that to experience this, to understand this lesson, to become who I am now. Everything was for a purpose, and you orchestrated it. That is the beauty of this experience. That's the beauty of the universe, that you have orchestrated this with others to help you and your soul growth. Your family, your friends, whether they were triggers, whether they were supportive, whichever direction it was, they have helped you become a better version of you. They have helped you to transform, because recognize that they are soul too. And they have just been playing a role, just as you've been playing a role for them, for evolution. Playing a role for each other, for your evolution and for your soul growth. And so, everything that you've experienced up until this point here, right now, was for the evolution to get you to this point here and now. But now you're ascending, now you're vibrating higher, and everything that you needed in the past for that past version of you isn't needed anymore. You carry with you the things that you want to, the love, the experiences, the people who are in alignment with you. And you let go of the past that isn't serving you, that isn't serving your growth, that isn't in alignment anymore, that doesn't feel good. And you know in your heart what feels good. You know in your heart, not the ego, because the ego says, hold on. It's the heart that says what's real. It's the heart that speaks what's true. And that's the difference between discerning between ego and intuition. Trusting in the love. Trusting in what brings you joy. Trusting in what excites you. And not allowing the fear to take over. Not allowing the second guessing and the doubts and the uncertainty to take over. That's the doorway. That's what we're leaving behind as we step into this. I was going to say the new year, but they said the new earth. Okay, I know I just talked for a while, so we're going to just get some cards here. And just channel some messages. I had planned on doing a divine feminine divine masculine reading. Maybe I'll do that over the next few days and see how the energy shifts over the next few days. But right now I just want to get some cards overall for the counterparts. So you guys don't miss the beginning. If you see me shuffling cards, make sure I'm going to use. Give me a second. Which one do we want me to? Okay, I'm going to use this one. Don't. I channel as soon as I start recording. And those were channeled messages there. So don't miss that if you want to learn more about, your relationship with your partner. And I love this community. You guys are very high vibrational. You get it. You are ascended. You know that this is not just about a 3D relationship with your partner. This is about so much more. This is you and your partner coming together in a soul bond, in a soul connection, in a deep divine love. It is so much more than the relationships you'd experienced in the past. And you guys get it. So I feel like I don't even need this disclaimer. But what I'm saying is don't miss the channeled messages in the beginning and the intro, because they are just as important to understand this connection as well as your own soul growth. It's important to understand what's happening with regards to evolution and the planet and the universe and ascension as a whole, the energy as a whole, as it is to know what's going on with your partner. So, we did a reading for Divine Masculines. I think it was Sunday or Monday, something like that. I'll try to link it in the description box below if I remember. Make sure that you do check it out. Divine Masculines are going through a bit of a heavy night, and I feel like Divine Feminines, you are stepping up. They're saying stepping up. You are purging and transmuting, because you're not carrying any of that old energy into the new year. You're just not. There's a Queen of Swords energy where they're showing me just cutting out the bullshit. And you had been doing that in 2019. You were doing that all year. But now you are firmly anchored into your power and into your boundaries and deciding what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want. And what you don't want is that old energy. You are moving forward with not a second glance back. Your divine counterpart will be there. They might not be ready yet, but they will be there when they are. But now it's a focus on yourself. Sometimes it does take detachment to lead to union. Because remember, if you're on this divine counterpart journey, now we're talking about divine counterparts, if you are on this divine counterpart journey with another person, then you are headed towards union with that person, with that partner. And for the collective, the wave that I pick up on, you're already in the process of union, even though it feels like things are falling apart in the 3D. Even though things may look chaotic in the 3D, that is the illusion. And they want you to fully understand and embrace that. Feel within your heart. Feel the love within your heart. Know that you are already in union in the higher dimensions. And you can feel that by the overwhelming sense of love. I'll tell you guys, forgiveness comes much more easily now. Coming back to a place of love comes much more easily now. This does not, again, excuse poor behavior. That's where the boundaries come in. Apologies need to be made. An understanding of self has to be had for you and the other person. Communication, honest conversations have to be had. But forgiveness is always there between true divine counterparts, because the love is always there between true divine counterparts. And you feel it in your heart. You feel it in your heart, the depth of the connection in your heart. You know it. It's a sense of knowing. That is intuition. Intuition is a sense of just knowing. It's the ego that likes to, because ego tries to protect you. Ego tries to guard your heart because of the past. When you learn to quiet your ego, that is when you let go of the past. That's when you let go of the patterns. That's when you let your guard down and say, no, ego, I don't need to fear anymore, because the only thing that is real is love. And what is the opposite of love but fear? It's not hate, it's fear. But fear does not exist. Fear is the illusion. I want to say this. Last night I spent some time, because I was purging so hard, I spent some time going through my journal. In 2018, 2 months after I met my divine counterpart, I did a ton of active healing. Anytime he triggered me, I took to my journal and I did the mirror exercise. Okay, if he's not making me a priority, where am I not making myself a priority? What do I need to heal here? I went as deep as I possibly could. And I've done that, gone even deeper over the past 2 years. And even deeper talking to friends. Unleashing trauma, unleashing some past life wounds, some of my deepest, deepest wounds. Some of my deepest, deepest beliefs that I was holding on to, false beliefs that I was holding on to because of things that I had learned as a child or things that I believed from how I was brought up or even from past lifetimes. I was letting go of that. And I channeled in that journal when I was writing. I began channeling, doing automatic writing and channeling source energy, channeling God. And what I'm going to do over on Facebook, possibly on Instagram, on my blog as well, is share some of those channeled messages from that time, because it was as significant for me now as it was for me back then, possibly even more so. Because now it's that spiral of understanding. It's the layers. You come to a greater and greater and greater awareness and understanding of yourself. The more you think you know, the more there is to learn. And the more there is to learn, the more you do learn, the more you understand. So concepts that I was changing and how I was shifting in my mindset and my consciousness back in 2018, I've anchored into that and integrated that energy now. That is how I've transformed with a greater sense of understanding, and not just conceptually understanding it with my conscious mind, but feeling it within my soul. And so some of those channeled messages I'm going to share over on Facebook and on my blog. So make sure that you follow me there and start checking that out, because it's very significant and very powerful. And all the links to my social media is down below. But I did want to mention that because it's significant. It's significant. And it was one of those messages was that fear is the greatest illusion of them all. My dog just fell off the couch. And he flipped the cushions with him. Fear is the greatest illusion of them all. Okay. What time is it? Okay, I'm just going to do a quick reading, you guys, and see where the energy is for these counterparts. Wow. What's interesting? Okay. What's interesting, we have two 10 numbers at the bottom of the deck. We have the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. Here's what we were talking about. You are both laying down the burdens of the past because it is too heavy. The past energetically is too heavy to carry if you want to go into a brighter, lighter, higher vibrational future of your happiness, your wishes fulfilled, your 10 of Cups. That's exactly what we were channeling. This is the doorway. This is the past. This is your future. And you're choosing to walk through this portal. And that's what it is. This new year is energetically a portal that you can choose to walk through. But you have to let go of the past energetically. In some cases, for some of you, I feel like especially for the Divine Masculines, they have to let go of something in their physical world. And that could be the crumbling of the foundation that they knew. Divine Masculines are in a stagnant energy. They're bored with their life. They're not happy. They are repeating patterns, possibly even numbing themselves out because they don't know how to move forward. They're desperately, desperately wanting to move forward and take a leap of faith, but they don't know how to do it. All they have to do is surrender. All they have to do is let go. And what they're actually telling me is that the universe has been bringing them to their knees. Divine Feminines, you've experienced this too. At some point in your life, you were brought to your knees as well in surrender. And I'm actually hearing they're doing this. They're saying it was actually a cycle of surrender for the Divine Feminines. I know I experienced that myself, where it was a cycle of letting go and release and surrender, and letting go and release and surrender, layers and layers and layers over the past 2 years of that, where I was literally brought to my knees. But prior to that, in my physical world, when I was sick with illness, with Lyme disease, everything around me literally crumbled. And I had to build again. And that's where the Divine Masculines are, where they are letting go physically and energetically, which have compassion for them Divine Feminines, because it's like they are on an accelerated course, just like you have been, but they're having everything happen to them all at once, and it is soul crushing for them. it feels like a pressure cooker. It feels like the world is closing in on them and closing in on them and closing in on them. And they don't realize that all they have to do is just let go. All they have to do is just decide to let go, to listen to their heart and not let anything hold them back, because the only obstacle is themselves. And if they're thinking that it's some kind of outside obstacle, then that's their responsibility to look within themselves and see, okay, where is that arising within me? Where am I still holding on to this obstacle? Because as soon as they recognize that within themselves, that's when it begins to fade outside of their physical reality. That is the power of manifestation. That is the power of co-creation with the universe. Setting the intention and focusing on that. And maintaining, they're also saying, maintaining that high vibration. Because if you're wibbly wobbly, that's a word that they just gave me. If you're wibbly wobbly, if you're in an energy of, okay, I'm going to, I want to manifest this, but I'm still scared. I'm still focused on lack. I'm still focused on scarcity mindset. I still am blocking my heart. I'm still guarding myself. Then you're not ready. Then you're not. Then you're still holding vibration, a lower energy vibration. That's what they want to that's what they want you to let go of as well. Divine Masculine or Divine Feminine here. That's what they want you to let go of as well. Let go of the lower vibrational energy, that dense energy of the past decade, to move into this higher ascension energy, this higher vibrational energy of the new year, the new decade, new earth, new consciousness. It requires a shift in mindset, and that requires a letting go of old beliefs and ways of doing things and ways of thinking, old relationships, old toxicity, old careers, old mission, old paths that you thought you were going down. It requires a letting go to let your heart guide you, because your soul and your heart is trying to guide you to this, but you're holding on so firmly to this, almost so afraid to let go, but it's such a cross to bear. It's such a weight, a burden to carry. This needs to end, the 10 number. This needs to end for this new beginning to take place. Okay, it just pulled back with that. So we have, we have the Page of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, Two of Cups, High Priestess, and Ace of Cups. Give me a second. I want to get the energy here. What is this? Give me one card. What is this all about? Okay. You guys heard me. I said, what is this all about? The sun came out. What is this all about? What is this energy about? We're not so much doing a sacred union energy as we are doing an ascension divine partnership reading right now. What is this all about? You want your happiness? This is what's going to take to get to your happiness. Relieve yourself of the burdens to move towards your 10 of Cups. It's going to take communication. It's going to take sincerity. It's going to take looking within yourself, being honest with yourself in order to be open and honest with another. This is how you are victorious, by putting in the effort and focusing on what matters. These pentacles are in the past here. These pentacles are already done. They're gone. Those were your past experiences that brought you to this place in your time and space evolution, in your soul growth, right here, right now. Now it's time to let that go, put that on the wall, be grateful for them, look back on them, reflect on them for everything that they've taught you. But now it's time to focus on what it is you're working for, what it is that you're manifesting, to create something new. Reprioritize. What is it that matters? Are you still going to focus on this? Does this still matter? Does the past still matter? Do those old relationships, those old patterns, those old beliefs still matter? Are they still stinging to your soul? Are they still making you feel fulfilled? If it doesn't make you feel at the very least satisfied, why are you still holding on to it? If it doesn't excite you, if it doesn't bring you joy, why are you still holding on? That's what they want you to let go of. Do what excites you. What lights you up? Go in that direction. Focus your effort on that now, because what you focus on, what you set your intentions for, is what you manifest. And if you're still holding on to this cycle is going to repeat itself. This wants to end, but that's what karma is. If you focus on that, it's going to repeat itself. If you focus on this now, that's what you'll bring into your life. I'm getting a message that this is for divine counterparts, that there is going to be more effort being made here. This feels very much like divine masculine wanting to come forward and apologize because they're recognizing themselves. They're having increased self-awareness for their role that they played. Again, some of you might be getting flowers. There's something there with that. Something there with tulips. I don't know if you guys want to look up the meaning of tulips, but there's something there that they're pointing me to that. But this is sincere. It might be very small, but that small communication, that small, honest, sincere expression of the self, and that's what this really is. They want to express themselves. They might be holding back a little bit, but they're learning. They're the page here. They're learning how to express themselves, how to communicate themselves, how to be themselves. And as they do that, they're going to come forward, and that's going to create a victory for both of you. This is riding forward from the battle, having gone through the battle. The Five of Wands is conflict. That conflict is over, especially the conflict between the ego and the heart. The conflict is over, and now their heart, although it may be small, though it may be the beginning, it's not so much small as it is the beginning. Almost like I'm getting the feeling of them like kind of tiptoeing in, because this feels brand new for them. They want this. They want to just jump in head first. There's that desperation energy again, but they're being held back a little bit. And it doesn't feel so much like ego. It feels like ego was flaring. It feels like ego was really doing a hell of a job trying to hold them back and guard them and protect them and lock them into this fear. But I feel like that's quieting. I feel like that's the fresh energy that this new year has brought in. That's the shift that this energy has brought in. And if you're not feeling it yet, you will be over the next few days. But this feels like, it feels like it's not trepidation, because trepidation is fear. What's the word that you're giving me? It starts with a T. It's like tiptoeing energy. It's like, I don't know what they're giving me. It's like an energy of, let's try this out. Let's try this out and see how it goes. And the more they listen to their heart and trust their intuition, and the more they see, not from a place of fear, but the more they see that things are working out and that they're feeling happy, the more they're going to ride forward in that victory. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. It's an energy of, let me give you an example that they're showing to me. It's like, because I want to make this abundantly clear because it feels important. It's like they're seeing that this can work. It's like the more you spend time with them, or the more they spend time doing something that they love, or the more they spend time with you, divine feminines, and they're enjoying themselves, there's a little bit of an ego flare that's like, that pulls them away, that pulls them back, that makes them withdraw, that maybe even makes them project or lash out. But that's just the ego flaring. That's just their own triggers. Because it's like they feel that sense of happiness and satisfaction and fulfillment, but the ego's like, oh, but it's not possible. Oh, but it's going to be taken away from you. Oh, you're going to lose this thing that you love so much. And that's where they pull back. But now they're starting to understand that the more they focus on, not on the past, the more and this is for you too, divine feminines, because I know I've been experiencing this myself. The more you focus on what it is that you want and what does make you happy, what does bring you joy, the more moments you have for that, the more magic comes into your life, the more you manifest that. And it's like a snowball effect. And so right now, this is that energy. The energy is, they're kind of like, okay, let me test this out and spend time with my divine counterpart. And let me test this out and do this hobby that I love. Let me test this out and think about another career and see how it makes me feel. Let me test this out and spend time with these people, my soul tribe. They're testing out their manifestations. It's like they have this brand new tool and they're testing this out. But that's the power of their mind. That's the power of their heart. And the more they do that, the more they follow their heart and not their fear, not their ego, the more they're going to feel victorious. Because when they're starting to understand that when they're feeling joy and peace and harmony within themselves, that's the direction to go in. That's the direction they're heading. When they feel true love within themselves, that's the high vibration that they want to maintain. And you go in the direction of your intuition is your navigational system. It's kind of like okay, I'm not gonna go there. They're showing me a scene from The Office, but I don't have time, so I'm not gonna go into that deeply. But it's kind of like a navigational system where you think you know the way, but So the navigational system is you, right? Thinking that you, in this instance, in this scenario, the navigational system in your car thinks that you know the way. They're showing me the scene from The Office, I'll just tell you, where they're listening, Dwight and Michael are listening to the navigational system, and Michael's like, it's telling me to turn here, it's telling me to turn here. And Dwight's like, but it's telling you to turn into a lake. And Michael's like, yeah, but it's telling me to go, so I'm going. Now they're in the lake. Now their car is completely submerged in the water. The navigational system in the car is your ego thinking that you know the way. And we talked about this in the Divine Masculine reading as well. You in your heart know that you're not meant to go in the lake, that's not the direction that you're meant to be taken. But you're listening to the ego versus listening to your own intuition versus listening to the heart. That's what they're learning to do. They're learning to listen to their heart versus listening. I'm laughing at that scene because it's so funny. But they're learning to listen to their heart versus the ego that thinks that it knows the way. The ego just likes to control. The ego likes certainty. That's what's going to lead them to victory. And the more they do this, the more victorious they're going to feel within them, because that is building up their confidence, that is building up their self-love, that is building up their worth. And one of the messages that came through in the very beginning when these cards came out was, the more that they build up their confidence and self-worth, the more they're going to come towards you and want that public acknowledgement, that public victory. For some, this is a marriage card. This is commitment. This is saying to the world, this is my person, this is my counterpart. This is saying to you, you're my person, you're my counterpart. I understand this connection. I feel this connection within my heart. I'm going to focus on this connection now because this is my happiness, and I'm going to go in the direction of my happiness. 2 of Cups, High Priestess, Ace of Cups. What once was held secret is being revealed. The High Priestess is an energy of following your intuition, but she doesn't always speak it. She keeps a lot hidden. She keeps that wisdom hidden. Not everything is revealed on that scroll there. But the more wisdom that is attained, the more understanding, the deeper and deeper you go in this connection, the deeper and deeper you go within yourself and with each other. That's what I said about this connection. The deeper you go with each other, the more wisdom you're going to gain about yourselves, the more you're going to grow, the more you're going to evolve together, and the more it's going to become this beautiful merging of the energies. The High Priestess in between here. Hold on, I want to get a clarifier for that because there's something coming in and I'm not quite sure how to decipher it. Okay. Magician, you have the ability to manifest. The Wheel of Fortune they had me take out and pull. The more you understand yourself and trust your intuition, the more you're able to manifest and turn the wheel of your life forward towards what? Towards union. You guys just saw this card come out. Look at this spread. This is a union energy spread. Look at all this positive energy. This is the new year. This is this doorway. Putting the past in the past, leaving that burden down to go towards your 8 of Cups. You have the power to manifest this, being the master manifester. They're showing me the tower at the bottom of the deck too. This is a breakthrough for you. This is a breakthrough. Why is it a breakthrough? Because you're being illuminated that you don't need to carry these burdens anymore. You don't need to carry the energy of the past into the future anymore. This is a brand new year and a brand new decade. You get to choose which direction you want to go now. You get to choose. I'm actually hearing, or the universe will choose for you, because the ego is the one that is holding on to the past, and the soul is the one that's wanting to go towards wish fulfillment. And if you still hold on to the past, the universe is going to come in with a tower moment and shake up the foundation of your life. And that's exactly what has happened for a lot of counterparts, for a lot of divine masculines especially. The universe came in and said, okay, you're going to hold on so long, we're going to make you let go. We're going to make you let go. You want to repeat karma? We'll have you repeat karma and learn your lessons, but then we're going to push you towards your wish fulfillment, where your soul and your heart actually want you to go. This is a breakthrough. This is a revelation. This is an epiphany of the power that you hold within yourself, that you can turn the wheel at any time by shifting your focus, by shifting your efforts and your attention, not on the past, not on toxicity, not on relationships or patterns or thoughts or behaviors or addictions that aren't serving you. You want to be better? You have the power to do this. You want this partnership? You want this connection? You want this relationship? Go within. Go within and trust yourself. Trust your own internal wisdom. Let the secrets of the universe be revealed to you by trusting in your spirit team and the guidance that you're getting, because that is what makes this Two of Cups. And what's beautiful about this, I usually get the Three of Cups as my union card. But what's beautiful about this is they're saying that both of you, having filled up your own cup, now have that love to offer to each other. This is a deepening of the connection. This is emotional intimacy. This is physical intimacy. This is doing this together, having each other now, working together. And you see how their arms look intertwined here? This is the bond that cannot be broken, that you have had for lifetimes. And this is not a karmic contract where you're just meant to learn lessons. This is unconditional love. Ace of Cups, unconditional love, a fresh start, a new beginning, divinely guided here. The two becoming one. Pouring your cups into the one, so that that love then spills out and overflows. Because what is love but ever expansive? Don't hold the love to yourself. Offer it to each other. Offer it to one another. That is your victory. That is your stability. That is this security and commitment and grounded energy. That is your union. That is your Four of Wands. That is your sunshine and happiness. And look at the couple here together, with the sun rising beneath them or behind them. That is this new beginning, this fresh beginning. No more holding back. That's this expression of love here. If you want that Ten of Cups, that wish fulfillment, you recognize each other. That public acknowledgement, recognition of each other, recognition of the connection, putting forth the effort now, focusing on the connection rather than on anything that was just an obstacle to the connection. That's what brings in this new beginning. That's what brings in this union energy, this fresh love. And that's what, as the love between you two expands, the love for all expands. That is union. That is unity energy. That is unity consciousness. Because if you're blocking love for each other between counterparts, you're just blocking the love that you can expand and feel for all. They're pointing me to the lotus flower, and they're saying this is the last message. The last reading that we did for Divine Masculines was from the darkness comes the dawn, or after the darkness comes the dawn. They've been experiencing darkness. You might have been experiencing darkness as well, Divine Feminines. But where does the lotus flower bloom but in the mud? Coming up from the mud comes the surprise of a beautiful flower blossoming in this love. That is your love. It may have felt dark in the past. It may have felt like a weight to carry this connection. It may have felt toxic at times. But now you're putting that behind for a fresh new start together. And look, what was I saying about the hands intertwined? Look what happens when you offer each other that cup of love. It becomes the one cup. And what comes from that one cup? But all of your manifestations, this abundance and happiness and bliss. The happiest card in the deck, the sunshine. Your union. Beautiful. You guys, this is a really beautiful reading. All right, that's going to be it for today. I don't think I'm going to pull any more cards, not even guidance. I'm not being called to. So We will be back. I'm going to do a pick-a-pile, I think, coming up, what Spirit wants you to know for the new year. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And we'll have another Sacred Union energy update coming in the next day or so. I want to see how the energy is shifting. So in the meantime, I'm sending you guys so much love, so much light, and we'll see you soon.